Hughes in, stopped by Wolfe, scores.
A blockbuster trade by the Vancouver Canucks tonight. The team has traded captain Quinn Hughes to the Minnesota Wild for forwards Marco Rossi, Liam Ogren, and defenseman Zeev Boyum. Hughes spent 8 seasons with the Canucks and 3 as captains, but things took a turn over the last few weeks with the rumor mill churning around the Canucks captain. Good evening. Thank you for joining us. A lot of Canucks fans knew this was coming, but life without Quinn is now officially underway. And for some immediate analysis, let's bring in a BC media legend, Don Taylor. Don, thanks so much for jumping on the show tonight. Quinn Hughes, a member of the Minnesota Wild. Your thoughts?
Well, first of all, we said, Rick Dhaliwal and I have said for the last couple of weeks, with all these rumors about the Philadelphia Flyers, I'm talking about possible destinations here, Washington Capitals, Detroit Red Wings, New Jersey Devils. There's always a team that you don't hear about that the player in question who seems to be on the verge of getting traded ends up getting traded to. I mean, listen, like Dhaliwal's supposed to be an insider. There's all these insiders. Did any of them have the Minnesota Wild? I didn't. Nobody did. The more I think about it, the more it makes sense from a Quinn Hughes point of view. I don't think that he wanted to go to New Jersey, even though his brothers are there. He would be taking ice time away from his brother Luke, who's also a left-handed defenseman.
Right.
I don't know if he wanted to go to Philadelphia or anywhere else in the Eastern Conference, but especially Philadelphia because they are a division rival. He'd be playing against his brothers on a more regular basis than he would if he stayed in the Western Conference, which he has. So when you think about it, maybe those of us who are supposedly in the know should have come up with this. I don't think they were going to send the Canucks were going to send Quinn Hughes to a division rival, but someone else in the Western Conference, the Central Division in this case, it makes a whole lot of sense.
You know, as the Minnesota Wild just came through town last Saturday, a 4-2 win for the Vancouver Canucks. So a rare 4-2 win for the Vancouver Canucks. But what do you know about what's coming back for Quinn? I know Marco Rossi is a good player, but a lot of the other names are sort of unknown.
You know what? I'm not going to sit here and pretend I'm an expert on Minnesota Wild first-round draft picks, but they're all first-round draft picks, and they've got another one coming. Here's the issue I have with this deal. Is there anything wrong with Canadian hockey players? There must be, because there's not many on this. The Canucks, there's not many on this roster. So none of them are Canadian. I know that's an old school way of thinking, but this just in, Canada's pretty good at hockey.
Right.
Not one of those players is 6 feet. Not one of those players is 190 pounds. So I wanted to see them get, if it was possible, and I know these players don't exist like they used to, but more edgy, more gritty, more tough.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to pretend I know everything about these players. I hope I'm wrong, but I don't see this in this deal. The other thing is that first round draft pick they're getting back. The Minnesota Wild is currently in the overall standing 7th overall. That pick's going to be in the 20s.
Right.
I just don't think they got enough. I'm going on here, Paul, and I apologize for that.
No.
But I'm going to compare this deal to 1999 and January 1999 and the Pavel Bure trade that Brian Burke came up with. They got Ed Jovanovski back. They got other players as well. They got the goalie of the future. You remember that, Paul. Kevin Weeks, who wasn't the goalie of the future. He's a pretty good hockey analyst now, though. Dave Gagne, they got Mike Brown. They got a draft pick. They got a stud in Jovanovski, though.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure I see. I could be wrong. I'm not so sure I see a stud here. I don't know what the other offers were. But that's the deal that this is going to be compared to. This deal is going to be compared to, and I'm not so sure it measures up based on Bure for Jovanovski alone. I wanted to see them get a stud back and maybe grittier and bigger and tougher like they were in 24 not that long ago. I'm not so sure that's happened here. And again, I will say this, but something that I always say on our show when I talk about, the way the roster is constructed and how I don't like it. I hope I'm wrong. I want to be wrong. I followed this team I'm from Burnaby. I followed this team since 1970. I followed it before they were in the National Hockey League, when they were in the minors, the old Western Hockey League. I want to be wrong. I'm not so sure I am.
Wow. I mean, it is shocking to feel that Quinn Hughes is no longer a member of the Vancouver Canucks. And really quickly, Don, just because we are out of time, but I mean, he's a franchise leader for defensemen, 432 points, 459 games. What's his legacy going to be in Vancouver over that short stint he had?
Well, I think he is a lot. This is my opinion, and I don't think I'm alone. But he is arguably the best player in Canucks history, right up there with Pavel Bure.
Wow.
And he's an award winner. There's not many of those in Canuck history. You won a Norris Trophy. He is the best defenseman in Canucks history, and maybe this is what his legacy will be. He wasn't here for a long time, like Pavel Bure, and I wonder if his number goes up into the rafters, or at the very least he's in the Ring of Honor. That's saying a whole lot. And on so many nights he was the only reason to go.
Yeah, I want to say he was here for a good time, not a long time, but it wasn't a great time with Quinn Hughes in there as well. But Quinn Hughes, no longer a member of the Vancouver Canucks. Don Taylor, thank you as always very much for your time.
Anytime, Paul. Thanks so much.
That has been Don Taylor, of course, on Donnie and Dhali, and they will be talking about this a lot over the next few weeks.